Everyone, it's Maydonna. Okay, I'm making this video to talk about my idea that might help with things like Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, our prison system, all that. And I know that various members of Congress, as well as the president, are already working on things in relations to that. And then I know one thing in particular has to do with the tariffs. They're thinking about the tariffs that America has placed upon these other countries that are sending their goods to us. Um, the money that we were getting off of that, it seems like it's in the plus. So they're thinking about giving some of that back to the Americans and putting the rest in the general fund, which is supposed to help out with these other programs, as well as the national debt, which is very important. Um, but I'm thinking about something that would really help, that is specific, that will lay out um, what it would help with. And I know there's some people out there that claim that what I'm fixing to mention is a tax on the poor, a tax on the poor people, and crap like that. I've heard that so many times. And then I know there's people that are against gambling, they're against whatever. And I know I've mentioned um, lotteries and sweepstakes and all that in various other videos that I have done. I've had all kinds of ideas involving that. Um, so yeah, what I'm talking about isn't really anything new, but um, I do feel like if it could be purposed to actually fund the Social Security system, the Medicaid, Medicare, and our prison system, and maybe a few other, maybe help more with schools, uh, more with other programs that are out there, housing, especially things in regards to our military people, people who have put their lives on the line out there, especially people who have actually uh, served in combat of some sort. I wish we could have more things for them, especially helping them get housing and things like that. These people have been through a lot. They've been traumatized, um, and they've put their lives on the line for Americans, and I feel like they deserve something for what they've done. Which I know some people get bonuses and whatever, but still, that doesn't help you in the long run because that money kind of comes and goes. Especially if you're having to send money back and you're having to help your family and all this stuff. It would just be nice though if something could be set up to where when you come back home, if you want to buy a new home, there's money that you can tap into that will help you buy your home. Might pay half or more uh, of it, and that will help you a lot. I just wish there was stuff like that that were available for that, because I really think that, man, if you go out there and put your life on the line for your country, you deserve something. I mean, it's one thing to go through basic and AIT training, as I have in the past, long, long time ago, like 30 something years ago. But anyway, we won't discuss that. Um, and go through just regular military. But it's another thing when you're actually in combat and you've really put your life on the line. I mean, that those people really deserve something. But not that regular military don't deserve anything. I'm not taking away from that, because if you serve in the military, you're doing a wonderful thing for this country, and any minute you could be called. You know what I'm saying? So, but really though, I think that people that have served in some kind of combat, even though it may not be labeled as a war, but any kind of combat like that, I really think those people should get special stuff when they come back. They shouldn't have to scrape and scrounge just to survive. I just don't think that's right. But anyway, that's another topic, and I won't get into that. But anyway, what I'm thinking is, what if we could come up with another lottery, a national lottery, okay? And I'm using this as props. Um, Lottery tickets right here, okay? Maybe I should have them right side up instead of upside down. Um, but what if we could come up with something like that? Maybe make the tickets like $3 per ticket, and have that set up for these different things, and have like different percentages for each thing. Uh, Definitely, Social Security should be top on the list as far as the payout, because all you hear constantly is it's going broke. Oh, our Social Security system is going broke, even though it was set up a long time ago, and millions of people have paid into this system, and millions of people have died through the years who are no longer getting money from this. So the money goes back into the pile and for the ones coming up. But because people in our government decided that they had a right to tap into that and suck it out through into the general fund and take it and use it for other things that they had no business doing that for. And I feel like that should have been illegal. I think they never should have been allowed to touch Social Security at all. That was so wrong, and I think there needs to be a block. If there isn't already, there needs to be a block preventing that from happening, because there's no excuse. That was specifically set up for our retirement and to help people who are handicapped or whatever, who can't normally work or whatever. That's what that is set up for. Uh, it should not ever have been touched to use for other things. So I think there definitely needs to be something to block that from here on out. So if any people in Congress are listening, I would like to see something done, if it hasn't already, to block that. But also, if there's anyone in Congress or whatever who's listening, maybe you could take this idea and create a bill and try to get it passed through Congress to where we could do this, like set up something like this. And, outside of paying the cost, the overhead cost of running the lottery, maybe the people that are running like the Mega Millions, the other lotteries, because there's various ones, and some of them are specific to states and the others are in the whole general lottery thing. The organizations that are involved in that, they could maybe either use that system itself, or get advice and find out how it's being ran, and use that to be the platform for this. But either way, have it set up to where this will fund that. This will fund Social Security, SSI, Medicaid, Medicare, prison systems, our schools, our infrastructure, industrial development, things like that. Those things are very important. I would just like to see that something created like this that would help with that. Which I know Alabama, which is the state I live in, they do not have a lottery. And there's a few other states out there. They do not have a lottery. But still, we can go and buy tickets. Like we can go to Tennessee or Georgia or Mississippi or wherever and buy the tickets. So I don't think that Alabamians should be barred from benefiting from it, because that we do go and buy tickets. So everybody in the United States can buy it, and then one day maybe we will get the lottery, and then it can be incorporated into our state to where we can just buy it within our state. But regardless, it would just be nice to see a national lottery that would cover this. That way they don't have an excuse to to fear monger people by saying there won't be any Social Security in 2036 or 20 whatever. There won't be any left. We got to do, well, why don't we do something? You know, make an effort, do something. Even though we're pouring money into this all the time, our paychecks get eat up from these taxes. I mean, it sucks a lot out of our paycheck, whether you're poor or rich. You're paying into Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, all that. You're paying it. So they're getting this money out of us, and people are dying every day, dropping off the system. So I do think that's a little kooky, but still, it would just be not, to have this so that people will have that security, that backup security system to where we will know that, okay, it's not going bust, and they can't use that as an excuse. So we're going to be able to afford to do this and keep it running, and that people will be able to retire and not have that fear. Because I plan on retiring. When I hit retirement age, I'm retiring as soon as possible. The earliest age that I'm going to be eligible to retire, I'm going to do it. I may have to still work to survive, but I want to retire because they keep upping everything. And in order to get the full benefit, I will be old. And, why not retire, take a partial retirement, or, take a cut from that and be happy, at least semi-happy and semi-retired, and enjoy what you can out of your life, because time is short. And if you make it to 60 and 70 years old, you're doing good. And that's when you really need to enjoy your life, because after that, man, you start going down. I've seen it too many times. After people hit 70, I mean, we're all going down. I mean, you can feel that by the time you hit, 35 and over. You start feeling it. Trust me, you start feeling it in your bones. But anyway, but if you make it to in your 60s, you deserve to be able to start retiring and to be a grandparent, or be, just whatever, and just go and enjoy your life, and not have to work full time and put yourself through that till you drop dead on the floor somewhere at work. I mean, it's just ridiculous, the way that they keep upping it and keep doing that to people. That's wrong. That's why I feel like if we get something like this rolling, they won't have to keep upping that, and maybe people will get more than they have. They can up the amount that people get when they hit 62 and 63 or whatever it is, and 65 and 67 or whatever. That they will up the amount to where people can survive, because now they've got it dwindled down so bad to where people that are drawing are barely making it by, because they've jacked up rent, they've jacked up food, but they've barely increased Social Security for people to survive on. But if we get something like this, they don't have an excuse. And if money pours into the system, then they've got that money there, and it can be used for that, and it needs to specifically be used for that. That way people can survive and they can make it, and not worry so much about getting their medicine or eating. I mean, it's pitiful. It's just sad, and it shouldn't be that way. So, I mean, I just feel like we need something, and that's the best way, because, the tariffs are not going to solve it. And if they don't really do something, then it's not going to be solved, and they're still going to use that, and they're still going to, dwindle away from it. So we got to do something. And I just feel like this would be the best idea for something like that, is some type of lottery. And maybe even have the lottery pay some on people's medical bills. I've made videos about that, to where it will pay so much. Like you get either a card or a number. They don't even have to create you an actual card. They can just give you a number and you write it down. And you go online, sign up, get your PIN number, And wherever you go, they have it in the system to where you can use a certain like say like if starting out, if it gives everybody $300 that sign up, if you make below a certain amount of money, um, that this would be for you, because people that make good money, I mean, they can afford the insurance, whatever, but us poor people, we can't. It's hard. um, but have it set up to where it will allow you to use, say, like 300 the first year or two. You could take that 300 and you can use it for anything that's medically related, whether it's to buy medicine, as long as it's medicine that's been prescribed by your doctor. You can use it to go to a dentist if you need to. You could use it to go to a chiropractor. You could use it to go to the hospital, whatever. That would be that $300 to help you, as long as it's a medical service and they can prove that it's a medical service. You can use it for that. And then maybe, have it increase as the lottery increases, all that stuff. The money, the funds are there, then maybe they can increase it on up every so many, like months or years or whatever, to where that's more money that people can use to go to the doctor or whatever. It might save lives, and that's important, especially if you don't have insurance, or if you have insurance but it doesn't cover certain costs, that might can pick it up. Uh, so, I mean, I think it would be a big help, to people that make maybe less than $75,000 a year or whatever, 50,000, whatever they, would decide. I feel like this money could help with that. So it would be a win-win, even if, people use the, oh, well, it's a tax on the poor. But you know what? How many taxes on the poor actually give you a chance to maybe win, say, like a jackpot? Maybe not make the jackpot as big as the other Mega Millions or uh, Powerball or whatever. Have it be a certain amount, but still, the thinking behind it is, well, at least we know this is going for good causes. So maybe it might just start out at 2 million and then slowly progress up, you know, something like that. But yet we're paying $3 into it. But at least we know that, hey, that $3 is going for something. Uh, so if you have, if they put it with that mindset, I think that would really make it worth it. So if that's a tax on the poor, I, as a poor person, am willing to pay that tax, because I would know that, okay, we're all going to benefit from that. It would be like a social thing to help everybody out in some way or form. Um, so yeah, whereas your regular tax on the poor that we're all paying out of our taxes, our payroll taxes, we're not really getting much for that. All we're getting is fear mongered into, well, it won't be there by the time you need it. That's all you hear from that. So that doesn't give me an option. At least I can dream when I'm playing the lottery or something like that. I can think, oh, maybe I have a chance at a jackpot, or, a smaller prize or something. Maybe they can offer more smaller prizes, like $1,000 or, 20,000 or whatever. Have more of that offered that maybe the other uh, lotteries don't have. Maybe offer some more of that to kind of spread it out a little bit more, the wealth. That might make more people be inclined to buy the tickets. But so, like I said, this would be one tax on the poor I would be more than happy to pay. I might not be able to pay very often, but anytime I would get, I would be able to, I would be happy to do it, because I would know, I would feel like, okay, this is going for, this country and the people of this country. So that's how I would look at it. But anyway, I don't want to talk too much. I know this video is long enough, but I just wanted to put that out there and maybe see what other people think about that idea. Uh, I just feel like it'd be a good one, especially if it had good oversight. Like, I think every 2 or 3 years, the members of Congress should elect, like, get what do you call it, resumes or whatever from really qualified people who are good at analysis, who are good at like taxes and things like that. Like the oh my God, my mind went blank. But they know about figures and numbers and all that stuff. CPAs, all that stuff. People that are really good with stuff like that. Get a group of them together and have them to go through the records of this lottery and make sure that the money is going where it's supposed to go, that there's no skimming money off the top and stealing and stuff like that, that this money is specifically going. And it should change up. Like every time they go to do an evaluation of this, have a new team set up to where that way people don't get locked in and think they can get away with maybe getting paid off or whatever. Like, send the best of the best new qualified people to go in there and do a good job and check this system to make sure it's doing what it's set up to do. I think this could work. I really think this could help Americans. I just think it would solve a lot of problems. And especially, with like I said, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, even our prison systems, it would help them update everything, keep people from being able to break out, keep from overcrowding and all that stuff. So I mean, it would really help out with a lot of things. But anyway, that's just my proposal. But I will talk to you guys later. Bye.